So the second round of Midweek Smoke 5 will finally be happening. Enzo here with a Houndstone. Interesting, Houndstone. And Roid with a Mega Pyroar. Okay, I'm opening the sheets as I'm speaking. And let's see. Oh yeah, this is a Mega Pyroar. And it's gonna be backed up by that Torkoal. These heat waves are going to be powerful. There is Trick Room support, and this is a Tail Room team on Roid's side. But at the same time, Enzo here with all of his tricks, the trickster god himself. Houndstone and Tyranitar they were very potent in the early games of Scarlet and Violet in the early regulations, so I'm curious to see how well Houndstone will do in these tournaments as well. And Enzo will be leading with two very sportive Pokemon here, with Rotom Wash and Sinistra. At the same time, Roid will be sending out Weavile and Basculegion. The interesting thing here is Weavile does have a Life Orb, and while Fake Out Pressure is live on Roid's side of the field, this Rotom doesn't appear to be all that much threatened. I mean, it does resist anything the Basculegion can do, and so will this Sinistra. I mean, it will get hurt by Last Respects, but without any boosts, it's not going to do too much. Rotom will be protecting itself though. Flip turn into the Sinistra, not doing as much damage as, well, clearly it's a resisted move. But yeah, he will be switching out his Basculegion, and in its place will be the little cloud that could. It is that Whimsicott. Weavile, on the other hand, with that Life Orb, will be taking this Sinistra down with a triple axle. No misses here. Life Orb boosted, stab boosted, triple axle. Yeah, that's the way to go, 100%. Takes a little damage here, but hey, anything that comes into contact with those triple axles, with those kicks, that's gonna hurt. Roid is in a very good position to just go for a Tailwind here. Enzo's gonna have to think of something quick. The Sandstorm will be coming up because that Tyranitar is finally live. Now, going back into the team sheets, looking at them, this Weavile cannot successfully threaten this Tyranitar. Enzo, though, will be withdrawing his Rotom and sending out his Rotom? Okay. So, was that the Hisuian Zoroark? It must have been. So, I take it back. I thought this Weavile wouldn't be able to do much of this Tyranitar, but it just kind of proved me wrong there by taking away about 70+%, about 74% of its HP. Tyranitar, though, will be getting a boost using that Dragon Dance, but at the same time, yeah. Let's check the conditions again. This Whimsicott, who has just come in, I believe it will be able to use Tailwind to allow this Weavile to still have the upper hand, and it can go for another very dicey triple axle here. It did do so much damage to the Tyranitar, but okay, yeah. Enzo will be protecting his Tyranitar here, making sure it doesn't get victimized by that triple axle. And like I said earlier, Whimsicott was in a very good position to just go for a Tailwind, feeling mostly unthreatened. The Weavile will be smacking the... Oh, I'm just going through the items now. It will be smacking that Rotom for what it's got, and that just did so much damage. But the Rotom Wash here manages to successfully get a Thunder Wave. But the real question is, even with the paralysis, will this Tyranitar, after a single boost, be fast enough to take out this Weavile? Weavile is one of the fastest Pokemon in this format. I believe it does have a base speed of 130. That is just like Aerodactyl. But yeah, we also see that it is a jolly nature, so this could be the fastest thing on the field. With a Tailwind, it's even faster. And I don't think this Tyranitar, after a single boost, would have enough in its tank to outspeed this Weavile. Enzo, trying to play it safe, protects the Tyranitar, but ends up sacrificing his Rotom. That Whimsicott, support Pokemon? What support? The best support is apparently knocking the opponent out. Goes for Moonblast, knocks out the Rotom, and Triple Axle will be going into that Tyranitar once more, pinning it, but Yeah, it is still paralyzed. And yeah, earlier we did see that that was not the Rotom. That was the Hisuian Zoroark. Enzo loves his gimmicks, and well, the Zoroark is always fun to see. I I'd love for anyone else to comment on that, but yes, we will be seeing this Zoroark finally come out. Nothing to imitate anymore, no illusions here. Sorry, I got a I got a message asking for several issues, but yeah, I will be having to look at that. The Bitter Malice goes into the Whimsicott, just doesn't do as much damage there. Okay, so I had to rectify an issue. There is someone who again no shows, but it does happen. The the Weavile has gone down, and so did the Whimsicott. All right. So Tyranitar managed to take them down both. Okay, that's interesting. So this Pyroar and this Basculegion are gonna have to do something here. But yeah, the Whimsicott managed to change the weather there at least once. But if you're looking at the teams themselves, Enzo has not yet Mega Evolved. He played this without having to Mega Evolve that Tyranitar, just so that if there was ever a need to change the weather once more, Enzo can do it. Yeah, while this Tyranitar isn't exactly all that beefed up, it can still Mega Evolve, but it has chosen not to. It chooses to protect this turn, trying to scout out whatever Roid is throwing out. And yeah, we will be seeing the Wave Crash into the Hisuian Zoroark, and Heat Wave coming from that Pyroar, boosted by the sun. But the Tailwind from Roid's side of the field peters out. This Tyranitar, after that Dragon Dance, it has Dragon Dance just once. But will it be faster than everything else on Roid's side of the field? The Basculegion, well, it'll be able to do Basculegion things. It is a Jolly Nature Choice Scarf Basculegion. So even if this Tyranitar managed to Dragon Dance once, this is a very, very, very fast Basculegion. And yeah, interestingly, it has Icy Wind. But it's chosen to Wave Crash there to lock in. And like I said earlier, Enzo has chosen to delay his Tyranitar's own Mega Evolution just to gain advantage with the weather. Wave Crash will be coming from that Basculegion, and it will be taking out the Tyranitar. Tyranitar here goes down, but this Zoroark though, alone but unafraid, it will be hanging on to its Focus Sash. But what does it choose to do? It goes for a Shadow Ball to take out the Basculegion. This is not enough. Oh wow. But the Sandstorm will do the Basculegion in. Unfortunately, it will also do in the Hisuian Zoroark, which will cause it to faint and return into Enzo's belt. And Enzo will be losing game 1. Roid takes the very first game of the set. And yes, yeah, Roid will be winning game 1. We will be seeing game 2 now. Still genuinely curious to see how this match is gonna play out for the rest. But yes, I'm Enzo with his mind games and tricks. You love to see it. Okay, game 2 of Roid versus Enzo. I'm still curious to see. Enzo did not bring the Houndstone the very first game, but upon further inspection, there are 3 ghosts on Enzo's side. On Enzo's team, there are 3 ghosts. I wouldn't call that unbalanced, considering I do truly believe that Ghost is quite possibly the best type in the game. Don't quote me on that. But it is a very powerful type right now. It can just get away with so much, and well, Roy does have 2 normal types, so they kind of cancel each other out in a way. But I'm not gonna chatter too much. Let's get ready to rumble, and game 2 of this exciting set will finally begin. Enzo will not be leading with the Sinistra or the Rotom? Question mark? We don't know. Either of these Pokemon could be the Zoroark, if he has chosen to even bring it. The mind games are going to be quite intense here, but yeah, Roid is bringing the Farigiraf and the Weavile once more here. So yeah, this Farigiraf will be able to just go for Thunderbolts and Trick Rooms here. I mean, does it want to go for a Trick Room so quickly? If Enzo does go for a Tailwind with his Talonflame, which he will not, he is... Alright, so that was the Zoroark. The Weavile will be protecting itself, and there will be 2 Rotom washes on the field. Rotom will be putting a curse on it. That is the Zoroark. Okay. Rotom will be putting a curse on itself, but, well, whoever that curse was laid on will be taking 25% of its HP every single turn. Yeah, wow. There's 2 Rotoms. Huh. Okay, I had to recollect myself there. That was the Zoroark. That was the Zoroark, and the thing that just came in was the Rotom. Sorry, these mind games also get me sometimes. But yeah, the Psychic there went into the Rotom. It is a Rotom, in fact, not the Zoroark. The curse forces the Weavile out. Roid will be pulling out his Weavile and sending in his own Torkoal. But one of these Rotoms, both of these Rotoms, will be choosing to protect themselves. And Trick Room will be going up. This Torkoal is now able to just go for an Eruption here. But what a game this has been. I love it. So this Torkoal has the capability to just go for an Eruption here, while this Farigiraf assists it completely with the Helping Hand. But one of the Rotoms seems to have switched out. I believe that was the Zoroark. The Zoroark has switched out for the Tyranitar, and the weather has changed from sunny to sandstormy. Eruption goes from the Torkoal, doesn't do any damage, doesn't do much damage rather, but Psychic going into the Rotom once more. This Rotom just tanking hit after hit after hit. And oh no, Kamikaze, the Torkoal just narrowly dodges that Hydro Pump. A very unfortunate miss from the Hydro Pump, but high risk, high reward. That was a pretty nasty miss, but Trick Room is still up. This turtle can still go for another Eruption, essentially, and the Helping Hand from the Farigiraf will be more than enough to do enough damage to take out the opposing Rotom on Enzo's side. And yeah, we will be seeing that this Torkoal will be getting Helping Hand support from its partner Farigiraf, and a little damage never hurt. I can still erupt, and he does. The Torkoal, the little turtle that could, blows up completely and knocks this Rotom out. Water type evaporated. But Tyranitar will be going for Crunch. Crunch is into the Farigiraf, not doing enough damage to take it out though. Trick Room still active. And the Sandstorm also still active. interestingly, this Farigiraf cannot do as much damage into this Tyranitar. But, oh, okay, the Talon Flame? Question mark? No, this is most definitely the Zoroark. Commentator's bias, or commentator's assessment. We did see that the Zoroark earlier used Curse and has lost 50% of its HP, and the Talonflame, which was initially quite healthy, has returned with 50% of its HP. Astute observation will tell us that that is in fact the Zoroark, and it is protecting itself. But the turtle, seeing no reason not to, will once again go for an explosive eruption. Not assisted by the helping hand, Tyranitar is just taking these hits, taking hit after hit after hit. Thunderbolt coming from Farigiraf into the Talonflame. But Tyranitar will be going for that Dragon Dance. Sandstorm poking all Pokemon but Tyranitar. And there are 2 turns of Sandstorm left, but at the same time, this will be the final turn of Trick Room. This Talonflame will have to do something fast because it is gonna be a very quick Pokemon. But Tyranitar can very easily just protect itself and manage, actually. So yeah, there we go. We will be... Okay, he gets the double protect on the Talonflame here. Eruption coming out once more from the Torkoal. Not doing that much damage into the Tyranitar though. And we will be seeing Ben and Ben, the Farigiraf, go for a Thunderbolt into the Talonflame. While this Tyranitar will be using Rock Slide to take out the Farigiraf and maim this Torkoal down to just 1% HP after the Sandstorm. If Enzo was chosen to Mega Evolve there, he still could have taken that out. But yeah, we know that this Basculegion is a Jolly Nature with a Choice Scarf, so it's going to be much faster than the Tyranitar. It threatens it completely with just a flip turn to turn the tides here. But Enzo's gonna have to hedge his bets here. If this Torkoal manages to switch out while Roid goes for a flip turn and successfully gets it, he can change the weather, but there will be no switching here. The Torkoal chooses to protect and will be going down at the end of the turn, but so will the Tyranitar. Flip turn will instead be going into the Talonflame, which is not the Talonflame. So the Zoroark goes down to the flip turn here. Basculegion saves itself from a little chip damage, and in its place will be... Well, Roid's still kind of thinking about who he's gonna send in, but it should be that Weavile. There's nothing else there. Probably thinking about what to do here. But yes, the Weavile will be coming in. The Sandstorm will be subsiding. And I spoke too soon. The Torkoal manages to survive because the Sandstorm has not gone up. Or is this one of those issues with the connection? Huh. Oh no, Enzo is sending out his own Talonflame, right? There was no communicating tab there, interestingly enough. So it will be this Talonflame and Tyranitar. However, Talonflame is still healthy and able to go for a very, very nice Tailwind here. But you really have to think about what's gonna happen here, because the Talonflame can be faked out by this Weavile. At the same time, this Weavile can just go for the knockout on the Tyranitar, but if it's... Well, actually, anything can go right or wrong with this turn. The Talonflame successfully gets up the Tailwind. Tyranitar can just run away with a Rock Slide. At the same time, if this Talonflame does not succeed in getting the Tailwind or Fake Out goes into it, this Tyranitar is still going to get that Rock Slide in. So, okay, Helping Hand will be going into the Weavile. And the Weavile will not be able to move just yet because this Talonflame successfully hits the Tailwind. Rock Slide takes out both Pokemon, double KO. And the final Pokemon on Roid's side of the field will most likely be, it'll just be the Basculegion. He has chosen not to go for a Mega in this game. A little late to state, but yes, Roid did not bring a Mega to this game. Instead, it will be this Basculegion. Earlier, I mentioned that the Basculegion is faster than the Tyranitar, but with Tailwind and after a single Dragon Dance, and I believe that there was a Dragon Dance earlier, so this Tyranitar will finally be able to outspeed this Basculegion, but the real question is, it'll probably go for a crunch into the Basculegion, and even if the Basculegion manages to successfully knock out the Tyranitar, it still has to deal with the Talonflame. And I wager it probably doesn't exactly want to go for Wave Crash here, so there's a good chance Soap Dish, the Basculegion, will be commanded by Roid to go for a Last Respects. If it manages to survive this, Crunch hitting it, and I've been told by many it looks like a milkfish, bangus. So Soap Dish will be going down, the Basculegion back into its ball, sent back to its trainer, and Enzo will be taking game 2. We will be going into a game 3. Okay, there was a bit of an issue with another no-show. I had to do my judge duties to clean that up. But again, we are going to game 3. This is exciting. Enzo will be leading with Talonflame and Rotom Wash. I think you guys can figure out I'm doing the finger thing. But yeah, Roid will be leading with the Basculegion and the Pyroar, so whether the Torkoal is in the back or not remains to be seen. This Pyroar will be able to launch a pretty powerful Heat Wave, but it's gonna be resisted by one or both of these Pokemon. Again, we're still in the dark. We don't know if the Zoroark is on the field with us today. And that has been, I think it's been causing mind game, even in my own head, in the comment, the caster. But Roid will be Mega Evolving his Pyroar, going for that immediate Fire Main power boost, that Mega ability. But we can now confirm that this is in fact the Talonflame on Enzo's side. And Soap Dish, the Basculegion, will hit Flip Turn into the Rotom Wash. And we can also confirm that this is the Rotom Wash. So both Pokemon on Enzo's side are genuine. The Zoroark isn't here. But the sun will be coming up on Roid's. Coming from Roid's Torkoal, the sun is shining bright today. But Thunder Wave will be hitting this Torkoal. Not exactly what you want though. Because if Trick Room ever were to go up, this Torkoal is gonna, as if it wasn't the fastest thing on the field with Trick Room already. So Solar Beam will be coming from the Pyroar, but that's no adaptability boost. It will not be getting any boost there, even if it was adaptability actually. You're not Charizard Y, but you will be getting that damage still. that's still a pretty substantial amount of damage. Only Fire Main did much more to boost Pyroar. Unfortunately, only boosts the fire type moves. Does a very respectable amount of damage into the Rotom, but not enough to knock it out completely. Enzo, though, will be withdrawing his Talonflame and sending out his Tyranitar. Taking over the field will be a Sandstorm. The sun is no longer here. If this Torkoal were to go for an Eruption this turn, it's not going to be able to do much. But what it very much can do is a Weather Ball. But unlike the last game, the Rotom successfully manages to hit the Hydro Pump this time, knocking this Torkoal out and sending it back to Roid. And in that Torkoal's place will be the Whimsicott. Whimsicott will have the capability to just change the weather. It does have Sunny Day, so it also has Tailwind. Whatever the order here is going to matter a lot. This Whimsicott is also equipped with a Focus Sash, so it cannot go down in a single hit. Enzo can choose to double into it, but that's going to leave this Pyroar able to just wreak havoc and do damage. At the same time, I don't think Tyranitar would appreciate a Solar Beam. If the sun were to go up now, Solar Beam would 100% just go into that Tyranitar. Even if Enzo were to Mega Evolve his Tyranitar here, it would still be overridden by the Sunny Day. But we won't be seeing a Sunny Day right this instant. We'll be seeing that Tailwind and Heat Wave coming from Roid's side of the field. Heat Wave boosted by Fire Main will be enough to take out Rotom Wash. And this Tyranitar feeling a little, gutsy, goes for a Dragon Dance here. While it's still not going to be faster than this Pyroar or this Whimsicott in the Tailwind. Well, they both have Tailwind up technically. So, yes, I believe this Tyranitar should be fast enough. But at the same time, the Sandstorm is going to be overridden. Quite possibly on this turn by Sunny Day. Or this Whimsicott feeling a little funny and like a little prankster might even Encore into the Tyranitar. Tyranitar's gonna have a hard time here. If it goes for Protect, it can still get Encored by the Whimsicott. But the Whimsicott's Focus Sash is no longer there. So this Talonflame can actually threaten the Whimsicott quite nicely. The Pyroar here will be protecting itself, not wanting to get hit by any Rock Slides. Acrobatics goes into the Whimsicott slot, no longer a Whimsicott but a Basculegion. Tyranitar will be using Rock Slide. Pings out into the Pyroar there, protecting itself, but the incoming Basculegion will be taking both of those hits, both the Rock Slide and the Acrobatics. And yeah, there will be... Huh, wait. Yeah, this Talonflame does not have an item. Of course. Why run an Acrobatics Talonflame with an item, right? So yes, Beanie the Whimsicott will be coming back out. There is no more Tailwind on Enzo's side of the field. But Heat Wave, Overheat, and Solar Beam, that's gonna be rather difficult. This Tyranitar might be able to tank those hits, perhaps. But at the same time, this Tyranitar can still protect itself this turn. Or can it? The Whimsicott, again, does threaten completely with Encore, but it can also threaten with Sunny Day almost immediately. It can go for a Sunny Day this turn and Encore on the next, but we're not exactly sure. That leaves it completely vulnerable. Aegis, the Pyroar, though, it's gonna need the sun in order to take out Tyranitar, but Tyranitar will be protecting itself, and this Whimsicott will be going for a Sunny Day. At the same time, Pyroar goes for an Overheat into the Talonflame, barely surviving after the Sun and Fire Main boost. Pyroar's damage output just not quite it. Acrobatics goes into Whimsicott, smacks it several times by that Talonflame's talons, that's what I wanted to say. And well, this is the last we'll be seeing of that Whimsicott. Game 3, so this is now going to just be a lone Pyroar against both, well, all three Pokemon that Enzo still has, Sinistcha will be healing up Tyranitar, and I believe that yes, Tyranitar will finally be Mega Evolving this turn. Enzo showing a master class in when to Mega Evolve your Pokemon tactically, and Tyranitar being no slouch can play out of that Mega mode. A very tactical move here by Enzo and this Tyranitar. Heat Wave not doing any damage into the Tyranitar. The Sandstream boost, and yes, Rock Slide will be single targeting into the Pyroar and knocking it out, earning Enzo the game and the set.